So,
well, there's a lot of lots and subdivisions here at Lycedo that are less than 1 acre, okay? That if the house was destroyed for whatever reason, is going to become a non-conforming use.
well, it
So
would
they
already
had a
be
septic and they had water, and but they're non-conforming use. Are these regulations going to take input that grandfathers those houses in to be rebuilt?
trying to think of how to, what the answer is. So,
In other words, how can the county retroactively say, yeah, we approved this 35 years ago, but now we're not going to? How can we do that? That's the big question.
well, the short answer is legally they can, but that's not the answer you want to hear. The answer is if you have, so because your house burns down doesn't then make you a non-conforming lot. What happens is, you know, whether you were prior to 1972 and it was a subdivided piece of property which didn't go through county review, or you were post 72, at which point the county started reviewing subdivisions. San Juan Basin Health hadn't set those acreage thresholds. The subdivision was approved, it was built. San Juan Basin Health now has different requirements. So because there are new requirements, that parcel is now considered a non-conforming lot. That's where the non-conforming comes in. The way that the code is written is if you're a non-conforming lot or a non-conforming structure and the primary use is as a residence, you can still rebuild, irregardless of the 3 acre.
Or 1 acre.
That's the way I interpret the code.
Or 1 acre.
Or whatever it is. If you have
Or quarter acre?
If you have a residence that is on an approved lot, whether it's non-conforming or not, Chapter 8220, for anybody who wants to go look at it, that's the section. Non-conforming. If you read it, there's a different distinction for businesses. But for people who own homes, if you are a non-conforming lot and you have greater than 50% destruction to your property, to your structure, you can still rebuild.
Without increasing the size of the lot.
Yeah, you basically, you got what you got. If you want to increase your home, if you want to add more square footage, if you want to add another bathroom, that then changes it.
Well, if you didn't do that, it would be an illegal taking by the county and you would be responsible to pay.
So,
In the land use code.
can I,
So if you look up
Jason?
land use code.
so I know that this conforming, non-conforming thing is important to you. I mean, absolutely, it's going to be addressed in this process. There's existing rules today on the books. There was something that was proposed a couple of months ago that got shot down, didn't go anywhere. My question to you is, do you want to spend the time talking about the existing rules on non-conforming right now? And we will stay. If there's a group who wants to talk about that, we absolutely will stay at this meeting. I'm not sure if all of you want to talk about that or you want to talk about the matrix, the strategies, and the plan. Are we done talking about the comprehensive plan and the matrix? I mean, you all have a sort of an understanding about it. And we'll talk non-conforming all night. I'm perfectly fine, but that's existing rules. I mean, that's what's on the books today. I just want to check in and make sure we're going to talk. We're finished talking about why we're here. It's a draft. You want to go through it? All right. We can do that. And we will stay. If there's people who have questions about non-conforming, we will stay afterwards and let everyone, you know, if people don't want to talk about that anymore can leave. But it's 6:30. We have questions on the draft or the process.
Actually, before we jump to those, the gentleman with the black hat.
Oh, thank you, Jason. Yeah, we had a couple.
You've been extremely patient.
How long, I mean, you got a lot of nice printouts and stuff. It indicates to me that you put a lot of work in. I'm not commenting on
Excuse
it.
me, people could please, if you wouldn't mind, if you want to talk, please go outside just to respect individuals speaking.
I'm not making a comment on the quality of the work, but looks like there's been quite a bit of work. How long have you all been working on this?
We began officially July 1st. The first portion
Of what year?
last summer.
So it's been going on for a year and a half, right?
Well, July 1st, so
A year and a month.
13 years.
Okay, and you said a few minutes ago that this thing's going to be wrapped up and voted on within the next 6 months to a year, right?
Yes.
Okay, doesn't it seem a little strange? I know I'm offended, for lack of a better term, that after a year and a month, you finally got up here and we're starting to learn some things. I'm learning a lot. You're talking about this thing that you all printed out, and I picked mine up at the library. You're doing a lot of talking on that, which doesn't make a hill of beans worth of difference compared to some of the rules and regulations, or whatever you want to call them, that you've been talking about tonight. You got to own so many acres, and you got to have sewage, and you got to have water. Tell me that you all haven't been talking about that, but you ain't been talking to us who are going to be affected by it.
I'm sorry, I don't quite understand.
It's not there's no question, it's a statement.
And that's why there's a little confusion about, this meeting was not about the existing rules and lot sizes and all of that. That was not intended to be the
Well,
purpose.
have you all been working part of this?
No, they have not been, we have not been writing any rules or regulations about in this process. It's been about getting some goals and
Where do
strategies.
these rules and regulations come from?
Sorry.
They're the existing land use code. That's just what's on the books. That's what Jason has been talking about. It's what's on the books today. And we hope that we might change some of those rules as a result of this process. But first we got to lay some
I think one thing you got to do
Yes.
is get Viacito involved in. We pay a hell of a lot of taxes up here, which you all, this county ain't gonna make without it.
Can I say, I appreciate your comment, and I was really surprised at the turnout here, but in all fairness, I have attended other meetings held by Jason, and they were held in Bayfield. So this process has been going on for several months. Unfortunately, a lot of people from Viacito Lake were not participating, and so I'm glad to see that you're finally up here. But there have been some residents of Viacito that have attended the meeting. I've been going to them regularly. So, it's printed online in the newspaper. I communicate directly with the planning department.
We had a quarter-page ad in last week's Pioneer River Times.
About this
A half week.
Yeah, it's Facebook, go on to La Plata County Comprehensive Plan, and there's all kinds of things.
There's flyers posted up here. We've been doing ads in newspapers.
Call me.
We've been doing a lot of outreach. It wasn't working. We're changing the strategy. I have one other, because this is so much information to digest, I grabbed my calendar. What I would like to do, and maybe I'll work with Pat on this, is to give people a chance to review this. I'm back in the office August 30th. I have meetings all day the 30th. I am open the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd. What we can do, if you would like, which may be helpful for people to have a chance to read through this, understand it, and actually have some questions related to the specific components of this, would be to schedule something to come out Tuesday the 31st, Wednesday the 1st, or Thursday the 2nd. I know a lot of people who may not be here year-round, generally leave after Labor Day. I will come back up here as soon as I have, really my next available night that I'm in town, I will be back up here. If that works, if I see a show of hands that people say that yes, they would like to have that happen, perfect. All I need is about 3 or 4 hands and that works. So, I will work on
Jason, ask what night works best for them. I'll write it down here. Let's get a night. Go with the
What day of the week?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
How many can make it Tuesday the 31st?
The 31st.
Later than 5 though, so someone can work in town?
We can do it at any time that people prefer.
Okay, how many can make it on the 1st, which is a Wednesday the 1st?
Oh. Well, that's what we're going to do, is look and see how many people can do it, and that's why I said I'll work with making sure that it is available.
is Tuesday the 30th,
Tuesday is the 31st.
31st.
Unless there is no resounding objection, we'll shoot for the 31st, which is Tuesday. If that doesn't work and the hall is already booked, we'll go to the next day, which is September the 1st. Oh, good.
There is already,
The center is available on the 31st, if that's when you want it.
yeah. Okay, and there is a second meeting already scheduled that Jason has got on his calendar that's been confirmed this afternoon. September the 28th. September the 28th at 6:30 here will be another community meeting on information that they're compiling as a result of their prioritization meetings and any other information that is forthcoming. It's going to be covering the new FEMA regulations on floodplain. There's going to be a couple of other issues. We're going to have a lawyer here to address questions concerning legalities of the county. There'll be a commissioner here. I'm thinking Butch Dalton will be here.
That's the excuse this time.
And Kelly Hodder will be here.
Wait till next year.
There will be 4 guests here.
Then next year,
To speak to
somebody
the
else.
community and share information. It will be a meeting where you will be able to submit questions when you come in the door. If you have something you'd like answered that night, we'll try to get it answered for you, and there will be an open discussion with the guests along with the people that attend. Jason, you got that on your calendar.
That's September.
September.
Not August, September 28th.
September
And
28th.
that's really where the meat of the non-conformity of
6:30.
block legality and all that stuff will be discussed.
Yeah, 6:30.
So 2 other things. August 31st, apparently I think the hall's already booked.
Margie, we got it.
Oh.
The 31st. Do we have it the 31st?
Yeah, you can have it on the 31st.
Would 6 p.m. work for folks?
6 p.m.
All right, we will do 6 till ...
I've got one more request before anybody else leaves this room. So we've suggested this sort of like planning committee or a committee or getting some people. I'd like to start organizing how that may happen and how, if you're interested in being involved on that.
How many would you like to see in the committee?
Well, I always like 12 to 20 is a nice size. But what I'm going to ask is, do we want to try to sign folks up tonight, or can I get a volunteer who would be sort of the coordinator that you would contact about participating on that committee? Or should we just like start writing names down?
We've got a volunteer.
All right. Who is the volunteer? Pat? Volunteer?
This lady volunteered too.
She can do it.
Barbara?
You can do it together. We'll work together.
Hey guys, I've been on this forever, and I would gladly talk to any committee they want to have, try to give you the perspective I can come up with is valuable to you. But as far as a member, to be quite honest, I'm burned out. I can tell you, and I'm sorry, but like I said, I've been